Yo guys, back with another review. In this review, I am going to talk about Versace Eros. This fragrance was released in 2013, and the perfume behind this fragrance is Aurélien Gouchard. Aurélien Gouchard's notable fragrances are Bond No. 9's Andy Warhol Silver Factory, Jean Paul Gaultier's La Mal Terrible, and Sean John's Unforgivable. As far as bottle sizes, you could get this in the 50 ml size, and you can get it in the 100 ml size. And price, you could expect to pay anywhere from $40 to $80 American. Here is the presentation. The top notes are mint, green apple, lemon. The middle notes are tonka bean, geranium, and broxin, and the base notes are Madagascar vanilla, vetiver, oak moss, Virginian cedar, and Atlas cedar. Seasons, you could wear this in the fall, winter, and spring. Now, when you first spray this fragrance, what you really get is a heavy blast of green apple and lemon with tonka bean. The tonka bean is the main player throughout this entire fragrance. This is a tonka bean based fragrance. You also get some of the vanilla, but the vanilla doesn't really come in until the dry down. As you transition from the top to the base to the mid, you really start to feel a lot more of that tonka bean. And the green apple and lemon start to die down a little bit, with the green apple being more prominent than the lemon in the mid. And in the base, you get the vanilla joins the party, and you get tonka bean along with the green apple and a little bit of lemon and a little bit of wood, which is from the two cedars in this, Virginian cedar and Atlas cedar. This fragrance, when I first tried it, I actually tried it at Perfumania. And I thought, wow, this is a very pleasant fragrance. There's really nothing wrong with it. And I didn't really understand why it had so much flack and why it had such a bad reputation, So I went and I bought it, and I did a first impressions video, which I will link to somewhere in the description. After I did that video, what I did not realize was going to happen, happened. I got a severe, terrible headache. Within 30 minutes, my head was bumping, and I wasn't really sure at that point if it was the fragrance. Oh, Versace Eros. I can't wait to try this. Ow! So the next day I went and I decided I was going to wear it and see, what's going on with this fragrance. Did it give me a headache? And sure enough, after 30 minutes of wearing it, I started to get another headache. This fragrance, I'm just going to say, is very strong. It is incredibly potent, and it just takes over everything. This is not one of those fragrances you want to play around with. It gave me a severe headache, and it gives me headaches even when I smell it now, and I don't really wear it that much. I thought when I first smelled this I was going to love it, and I do love the smell. The smell is great. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoy the smell. I enjoy it for what it is, but it's just too synthetic. It's too strong, it's too powerful, it's too obnoxious, and I just didn't feel comfortable while wearing it. Even if I wasn't getting a headache, just by how strong it is, I don't want to give other people headaches, I was in an elevator while I was wearing this fragrance, and I was like crowded with people, and I just remember thinking, man, everyone in this elevator probably hates me. So it's a good fragrance, don't get me wrong, and if it doesn't give you a headache, this is one of those fragrances you should definitely sample first before you go ahead and buy. And, this is not something you just want to smell on the strip. You want to get this on your skin, and you want to see what it does. Because as far as my skin, this fragrance is a beast. It projects, it jumps. It's almost on the same level of Yop Homme. Not quite Yop Homme, but it is very close. And I'm just not a fan of how strong and synthetic it is. It is incredibly synthetic. And that's what bothers me about this fragrance. you would expect something like that from an Axe fragrance, you know, that's to be expected. Something that's synthetic and loud and obnoxious, but you shouldn't really at this point be expecting something like that from the house of Versace, which is supposed to be a house that has prestige, class, and, you know, is above being that way. You know, one of my favorite fragrances is Versace. There's a Dreamer, and I love the Dreamer. The Dreamer is a great fragrance. But this one, to me, pales in comparison because it just feels so cheap. I mean, it feels so generic and just uninspired. I love the way it smells. I just wish they would have used better quality ingredients. Instead of going cheap and putting all sorts of crap in there, I mean, it just feels like it feels like something that came out from Axe, you know, something that was released in a drugstore aisle. You know, I mean, it's just not really well made. I'm not a fan of it. No fragrance should give you a headache. And, you know, I mean, when you pay big money for something like this, the prices that they expect, you know, the Versace prices, granted, you can get them discounted, but, I mean, you go to Macy's, you go to Sephora, you go to Ulta, Perfumania, you go online, and you're going to pay top dollar for this fragrance. You're going to pay $60 to $80 to $90 just to purchase the bottle of this. And I'm just not a fan of how cheap it smells. I'm not a fan of the fact that it gives me a headache and it pisses me off because I really enjoy the smell. The smell is great, but the headaches that come with it are not. So, positives, it's long lasting, lasts forever. I get about 14 hours of longevity out of this one. It just keeps going. I don't know, it could probably go above and beyond 14 hours. I just took a shower. You know, it projects great. I mean, it fills up the room. And if that's what you want, then this is what you should get. But try it on your skin, because everyone's skin is different. And it will get compliments. If you don't give people headaches, granted. You know, if you don't give people headaches, you're going to get compliments. But this could be one of those fragrances that make you that cologne guy. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as negatives, yeah, it gives headaches. It's incredibly synthetic. I can't believe how synthetic this fragrance is. And it is somewhat generic. Not really that different. Similar fragrances. If you want a better fragrance to get, if you're looking at this fragrance and you want something better, something that's not as synthetic, and that's probably not going to give you a headache, check out Armani Code. Armani Code is a very, very good alternative to this. Very similar, you know, Tonka Bean. There are a lot of fragrances. Just go to, you know, your local department store and just sniff out a bunch of fragrances. I mean, it's very modern Versace Eros, I'll give it that, but it's just so cheap smelling. And as far as another similar fragrance, Chanel's Allure Homme Sport Au Extreme. In my first impressions video, I said that this smells like Chanel Allure Homme Sport, and it does, but it smells like an amped up version of that, which is what Au Extreme is. And they do smell very, very similar. I just think Au Extreme is definitely better than this. As far as smell, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. This would be a 9 out of 10 if it didn't give me a headache. If it doesn't give you a headache, 9 out of 10. But for me, it's a 7 out of 10. Longevity, 10 out of 10. It lasts forever. Projection, 10 out of 10. It projects incredibly well. Versatility, 6 out of 10. I mean, because it gives me a headache and I feel like it's going to give other people headaches, I don't really wear it that much, and it's not really suitable for anything except for in the house, you know, chilling, lounging around. Uses, post-mortem, I mean, you know, after death. Compliment factor, 10 out of 10. Yeah, you're going to get compliments as long as you're not giving people headaches. And overall, 7 out of 10. If this fragrance wasn't so synthetic, if it didn't make my head hurt, I would have gave it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed the smell of the fragrance. It's very pleasant. I'm a huge fan of tonka bean and citrus and green apple, vanilla. I love those notes, and I think it's mixed well. I just think the ingredients they used are incredibly cheap, and I'm not a fan of that, and I'm actually really disappointed in this release. I wish they would have, you know, I wish they would have used better quality ingredients instead of going the cheap route. But unfortunately, what are you gonna do? It's a good fragrance if you could tolerate it. But anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.